Hello everybody, welcome back to Bandwagon Sports, and today I'm going to be doing my 2021-22 NHL Atlantic Division predictions, and the reason I'm starting with Atlantic, no reason at all, maybe because my favorite team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, play in this division, maybe that's why I decided on it, but who knows. And before this video begins, I would like to give a huge shout out to the London Knights organization. They were holding a charity for Elgin Middlesex Elementary School today. I went. It was at Budweiser Garden, so of course I went. You can see I got my Knights hat on here. I wear it a lot, and I did donate. I donated a few bucks, just whatever I had, and there was 3 players there, and I got the autographs on this puck here, so I'd like to give a huge shout out to those players. Thank you very much for being, kind and all that. And it really does go a long way, and, excellent job raising for the community. So thank you, London Knights. And that's really all I wanted to say. So let's hop in to my 2021-22 Atlantic Division predictions. So in 8th place for the Atlantic Division, I have the Buffalo Sabres. This shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, honestly, with Jack Eichel most likely out the door and Sam Reinhart and Linus Ullmark already leaving 2 of their key players and potentially 3 of their best players out the door. But some standouts on this team, I see Dylan Cousins really taking a lead role on this squad. Victor Olofsson, obviously a great young winger for this team. You might be able to see guys like Rasmus Asplund and Arttu Ruotsalainen play good this year as rookies, and maybe Rasmus Dahlin takes a step forward this year. You never know. So those are honestly the key standout players I see for this team. Really not a lot of skill on this team. I mean, if I'm being honest, I see a lot of third liners. I mean, Olofsson, good second liner, but I see a lot of third liners and, 4, 5, 6 defensemen on this team, really making up just a really mixed, jumbled roster, and I don't think this team's going far. In an 82-game schedule, maybe they muster out 30 wins. Maybe if Jack Eichel's there, I could believe it, and if they get good goaltending play. But that's really about it. If Eichel's gone and their goaltenders play like I think they will, it's Craig Anderson and Aaron Dell, by the way. This is a 20-win team, if I'm being honest. This is a 20-win team. This is a bad team, and I don't expect them to do much, so I have them here in 8th. Let's move on to 7th. So places 7 and 6 are very tough for me to decide. It's between 2 teams, and in 7th place, I have to go with the Detroit Red Wings. Honestly, what it comes down to is that bottom 6 and the scoring ability that they're going to give, and also the defensive core. And I just think that Detroit has a worse bottom 6 and a worse defensive core than the Ottawa Senators this year. Gave it away. But, oh well. Some standout players for the Red Wings to look forward to this year. Obviously, that whole first line of Jacob Vrana, Dylan Larkin, Tyler Bertuzzi. That's going to be a great first line, especially with Vrana becoming a great breakout star for the Wings last year. He's going to be a huge part of their success. Some other guys, newly acquired Pius Suter from the Chicago Blackhawks. I think he has the potential to put up a 25-goal year. Playing alongside Philip Zadina and Robbie Fabry. Anything's possible there. Also, Michael Rasmussen, I like him a lot. Mitchell Stevens coming over from the Lightning. On the defensive side of things, you're going to have Moritz Seider playing in the top 4 role this year. Philip Hronek, a newly acquired Nick Leddy, and also Alex Nedeljkovic, who I totally believe could be a very, very good goalie for the Red Wings. He could be the goalie of the future. Steve Yzerman picked him up for practically nothing, so this is a really exciting young squad to look forward to. Who knows, this is a team that has a lot of potential and can go a lot of places this year, but they could be as bad as 8th, they can be as good as 5 in my opinion, maybe 4 depending on quite a few things, but a very good young team with a lot of talent on it, and honestly, if that talent plays up to its expectations, then this is going to be a good team. But right now, I have them ranked 7th for, the bottom 6 and the defensive core. So now let's move on to the 6th team in the Atlantic. And in here at 6, I have the Ottawa Senators, as I said in the last clip. But yeah, Ottawa, really great team. They have a good bottom 6 as well with guys like Logan Brown, Colin White, Chris Tierney, Alex Formanton. All these guys, very good, young, talented players. All guys to look out for. And also that first line, Brady Tkachuk, Josh Norris, Drake Batherson, or Tim Stützle, honestly. Works either way, but Tim Stützle, after a great rookie year, you definitely expect him to put up a 60-point season, I would say. You expect him to put up 55, 60 this season. Josh Norris, the same type of thing. Brady Tkachuk, obviously been great the past couple seasons for the Senators. Honestly, just a really great young team. Big up-and-coming team. You have Shane Pinto coming in, who was a Hobey Baker finalist this year, I believe. And on the defensive side of things, you have Thomas Chabot NHL All-Star, lots to like with him. Michael Del Zotto, a free agent signing, played very well this year. Eric Brandstrom, Artem Zub, young guys who can take a step forward. Artem Zub was very good. He surprised me a lot this year. And in net, goalie's a little bit of a tough one for the Senators. Matt Murray, Anton Forsberg. But if Matt Murray plays even okay this year, I believe Ottawa can be a decent team. They can compete for a playoff spot. Probably won't get one, but they can at least compete this year, which is more than they can say in years past. So I really like this young Ottawa team. I think that they're going to go places, especially in the next couple of years, and this is going to be a great building season for them to really see what that lineup's going to look like for the next few years. And yeah, let's move on to the fifth team in the Atlantic. And here in fifth, I unfortunately have the former Stanley Cup finalist Montreal Canadiens. This is a good team, but the Atlantic Division is just so tough this year. I feel you got great standout players like Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, who, as a rookie, he's going to come in here, he's going to light the lamp. You have Jesperi Kotkaniemi, obviously, and this is a team full of a lot of young guys, but also a lot of veteran leadership, so there's a good mix in there. Obviously, guys like Brendan Gallagher, like I said, Tyler Toffoli, Josh Anderson, Mike Hoffman, who is a free agent signing. All these guys are great veteran scorers who have a very strong game. They can teach the young guys a thing or two, but this is honestly a good lineup up and down. I don't really see many holes on this team, at least in the forward core. Top to bottom, it's strong, especially with that addition of Mike Hoffman and Cedric Paquette as well. Going to the defensive side, it's a good defensive core. It's a defensive defense, so you're not going to get a lot of offense out of these guys except for maybe Petrie and Romanov, but they brought in David Savard this year. They also brought in Chris Weidman, who I believe was there last year, but he's going to get a bit of a bigger role this year, a bit bigger of a payload, and you're also bringing back that really good 1 and 2 and Carey Price and Jake Allen. Duo who can kind of split the games. I see Carey Price not having a great regular season, but with Jake Allen to be there, every other game to maybe steal a win out if he plays as good as last year. It's going to be a pretty good team. Again, a very competitive team, really pushing for that wild card spot. And honestly, I can see Montreal, Ottawa, and this next team who I'm going to mention really all fight it out for a wild card spot. And even that third spot, the team I have in third, can all fight it out for a wild card spot. So overall, Montreal, a very good team. A lot of potential for this team. Definitely a team I can see making the playoffs. But Unfortunately, they're just on the outside looking in. So let's move on to the first and only wildcard spot in the Atlantic Division, the fourth place team. Let's get into it. So I want to explain to you guys how close number 4 and 3 really are to me. Like, this is such a tough decision, but in fourth place, I'm going to have to put the Boston Bruins. Both this team and the next team are so close on paper, in my opinion. But some standout players to look forward to: Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, David Pastrnak, one of the best first lines in the NHL, maybe the best. It really depends who you're talking to. And then you got a really great second line, bringing in Taylor Hall last year, keeping him long-term, 4x6 kind of $1 million contract. Excellent deal for a second line, 60 to 70 point score. Excellent deal. Third line, they brought in Eric Howlett and Nick Foligno, two really good kind of defensive-minded players who can chip in on offense here and there. And you also got Thomas Nosek on that fourth line who they brought in. The real difference maker for me is the defensive side of things. You have Matt Grzelcyk, Charlie McAvoy as the first pairing. Charlie McAvoy, very underrated defenseman, really, really good player, and Matt Grzelcyk's decent as well. You got Derek Forbort, Brandon Carlo as that second pairing. Again, Brandon Carlo I really like, and Mike Riley, Connor Clifton as that third pairing. This is just where I see the difference. I think Toronto has a better defensive core. They have more talent. And then in net, you have Linus Hallmark and Jeremy Swayman. Both of these guys could be the starter. I see Jeremy Swayman as one of the best rookie goaltending prospects coming into this season. Obviously, he played 10 games last year in the NHL, I believe, put up really good numbers, but expecting him to get a bigger workload this year, maybe 30 games, and if he plays well, then he will probably take over as the starter. But yeah, this team in the Leafs, very close on paper, but I'm going to have to give it to the Leafs, unfortunately. I mean, this is a really great-looking Boston team, one of the best teams in Boston I've seen in a little while, at least depth-wise, and I'm really excited to see what they can do this year. So let's move on to the third-place team. And yes, in at number 3, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs. I do think there's two teams better than them, and the Maple Leafs look pretty good on paper this year, as they do usually, but they never convert. Free agent signings, they brought in Nick Ritchie, they brought in David Kampf, Michael Bunting, Andre Kosha, and Peter Mrazek. I think all these guys have the potential to be big impact players in the lineup. Obviously, all the guys I named on offense, Kasha, Richie, Bunting, they all have great offensive potential. Maybe not Richie so much, but he's a great two-way defensive-minded player to put in that bottom six or even in that top six as a defensive mind. But Michael Bunting, definitely a player who I can see breaking out this year on the Leafs. Andre Kasha, I think, could play solid in that bottom six as a scoring player. And obviously, Peter Mrazek played very solid over the past 2 years, even though he's been injury-riddled. It'll be interesting to see what he can do as a backup in Toronto. I definitely have high hopes for him to play well because I really like Peter Mrazek. But yeah, this is a team who I think can get past the first round. I mean, I've obviously thought that for the past 4 years, but has it happened? No. Do I care? No, I'm not a Leafs fan. I'm the farthest thing from it, but this is a good-looking team on paper, obviously headlined by guys like Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Morgan Rielly, and this is a pretty different-looking team from last year. A lot of good free agent signings, and it's going to be really exciting to see what they can do this year. I hope they don't do too good, though, because I want my Tampa Bay Lightning to do well. So let's move on to the second-best team in the Atlantic Division now. So here at number 2, I was actually very ready to name this team the best team in the Atlantic. But looking at their lineup over, I do believe they are the second best team, just depth-wise and overall experience-wise. Number 2, I have the Florida Panthers. This is a very good team. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a President's Trophy caliber team. A 100-plus point season is expected out of them, at least for me. Headlined by guys like Barkov, newly acquired Sam Reinhart, Jonathan Huberdeau, Anthony Duclair, Sam Bennett, who just turned his career around in Florida. I'm really excited to see what he can do in a full 82-game schedule with these guys. Anton Lundell, he'll probably come over as a rookie this year. Owen Tippett, he is another young guy who can perform in the lineup. Mason Marchman, who played very well in the playoffs against Tampa. Watching a little bit of those games, Marchman was a standout player in my opinion. And then Hornqvist and Achari on that fourth line as well, And the defense is very strong defensively, and you can get some offense out of them here and there with guys like Ekblad and Nudavara, Montour, Forsling, Uyghur, and then Radko Gudas, who's a big hitting, body-checking defenseman. Used to play for Tampa, too, funnily enough. I love myself Radko Gudas, and Florida loves to steal players from Tampa, but that's past the point. In net, you got Spencer Knight and Sergei Bobrovsky. I really loved Chris Driedger on this team, but I think Spencer Knight's going to play a good season. I mean, I see him playing 40-plus games this year. I think Bobrovsky's going to be the backup because he's kind of fluked his $10 million contract, but that's past the point. It's a very good team on paper, and I fully expect them to have 100-plus points. It's going to be really, really tough for teams to beat these guys, at least in the regular season. And it's going to be a good season for Florida fans, and I hope you guys are excited for them just as much as I am. So let's move on to the best team in the Atlantic Division. Okay, call me all you want, call me biased, call me loser, call me old-fashioned, call me normal, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, I think, are the best team in the Atlantic Division, and you can prove me otherwise. I was fully ready to put Florida in this spot until taking a second look at the lineup. Yes, there's a lot of guys on their way out of Tampa, guys like Tyler Johnson and Yanni Gourde, but their holes are fillable by guys like Ross Colton, Alex Barry-Boulet, Boris Katchouk, Taylor Radish. We brought in Corey Perry, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare for some depth, and this team's still headlined by guys like Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, Andre Palat, Alex Killorn, Anthony Cirelli, just all the main guys. And on defense, things haven't really changed over the past 3 seasons. You got Hedman, Ruda, you got McDonough, Chernak, you got Sergachev, Foote. I mean, just such a great team here in Tampa, and I'm really excited to see what they can do this year, especially guys like Cal Foote, who is a player who I really respect, guys like Boris Katchouk and Taylor Radish and Ross Colton, a lot of the young rookies. I'm really excited to see them play. And then in net, you have Andrei Vasilevsky and a much-needed new backup in Brian Elliott. This is going to be a fire Tampa Bay Lightning team. I'm super excited to see them step on the ice. I'm really happy to see Nikita Kucherov get a full 82 games out there, hopefully. So this is the best team in the Atlantic Division, in my opinion. Argue with me all you want, call me biased, I don't care, but the Tampa Bay Lightning will win the Atlantic Division with, I don't know, I predict at a max 110 points from this team. Very good squad, but not the 2018-19 squad that we saw win 62 games. So those are my Atlantic Division predictions. If you enjoyed, please do hit the like button and subscribe. It means a lot. But if you don't want to, you don't have to, obviously. I'm just asking. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next NHL predictions videos. I'll probably be posting for the next 4 days these videos, so I really do hope you enjoyed this one. And again, I will see you in the next one. But for now, bye.